Hi, my name is Hester. I own Cranberry Lane in downtown Bristol, and I also own the Southern Churn on State Street. My dad was a great influence in my life, and he actually grew up in South Georgia as a sharecropper. They were a very poor family. He was able to later in years move to Michigan. He worked in General Motors and worked at the plant there in General Motors. He actually did some work on a Cadillac for Elvis Presley, which is kind of cool. And he didn't have a great education. He had a fourth grade education, but what that instilled in me and watching his hard work is I knew I could make anything of myself and be anything I wanted. So that fueled the fire for me. I graduated and then I went to college and I got my MBA, and I wanted to get all the schooling I could get. I wanted to have the best job I could get. I wanted to make the most money I could get to really make him proud. But to see what he did, coming up from that background and how you can really push yourself and strive and be what you want to be, I encourage kids to do that. The sky's the limit, really. And he worked and built several businesses on his own. He was born in 1919. He's called himself a 1919 model, and he made it to 98 years old. I lost him on February 21st, just a few weeks ago. But what a great man and what a great inspiration he was. And I hope that part of him lives on through me. As a kid growing up, I had so many dreams and ambitions. I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be a Supreme Court judge. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be in movies. I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be in anything that could make money. So that was one of the things I saw. We had a little harder time growing up. And, my dad had broke his back and was on a fixed income, and, he had a fourth grade education, but was an extremely hard worker. So that instilled a lot of those qualities in me, but I wanted to be so many things. It was amazing. When I was going through school, we had an aptitude or a placement test in the fifth grade, and they said I should be a politician. And that's not something that's out of the question. I may still do that. So there were many, many things I wanted to do as a kid growing up, and business obviously was always one of them. Bristol means so much to us. I've been here for my store for 18 years. I worked at King Pharmaceuticals prior to that for several years, and I decided that I grew up in Marion, Virginia, but then I decided Bristol was the place for me to be. So I've been here rooted in the area for that long a time. I bought some historic buildings downtown and historically restored them, built lofts above them, and so I live downtown. I have my store downtown. I work and play downtown, and I'm so excited to be such a fabric in the community, just a tight-knit fabric, and it's exciting to know what a close community you have, but what the cool uniqueness of Bristol is. I think if you look back at the history of Bristol, it was a thriving metropolis, and it was the largest city we had folks that came from Roanoke and Knoxville. The train came through, so people were dropped off, and it was a hustling and bustling downtown. If you look at some of the old black and white photos, and some of the parades that they had, they're 10 or 12 people deep in the streets. They were anchored by true department stores like H.P. King and J.C. Penney and Belk and Betty Gay Department Store, and a lot of those names that you don't hear anymore. But what a great fabric of downtown it had. What a great, cool area it was.